Let's get this thing going. All right. Let me move that mic over a little bit. Get this in front of my face. Okay. And we will get rid of this overlay. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Let's take a look at these comments. Okay. What do we do today? Oh, welcome everyone. This is the Game Dev HQ live stream. We're gonna do some fun stuff today in Unity, and one of the things that I thought would be really fun to do today is talk about character animations and how do we make a character talk in Unity. Now, before I tell you the answer, because you guys probably already know, what are you guys some of your thoughts on how to make a character work in Unity? What's your overall opinion? Because I still, well, I got to quickly build out a character in Unity for this particular thing, but this should take no time at all. So, give me some ideas. If you guys were to build a game character in Unity, and you wanted it to have a moving jaw, moving mouth, what would you do to make it work? Any ideas, guys? I'm curious because I had my own ideas at one point in time, and then I kind of figured out how they actually do it, and it's a little different. So I'm curious what you guys think would be the best way to make a character. And right now I'm kind of just making its jaw right now. But how would you make a character in your 3D game talk? Let's see. Any ideas? Any throwouts? Animating the mouth via code. That is a very good and very long concept. I feel you, Peggy. I've been there before. I know what that feels like, and no, that is not the best way to do it. Different game objects that make the face what? Make the face what? That's the ultimate question right there. What would it make the face do? Watch Mix and Jam and copying the code. Oh, don't worry. I copy code in this one because I'm not a strong script C# scripter. Code monkey. I that's just not me. I'm a far better what you call it graphic artist than I am, and I say that with a lot of optimism. I'm not that good either, but when it comes to coding, I could do the basics. I mean, a lot of you people saw my limitations last week. Let's see. Okay, worst. Yep, that is kind of what we're going to be doing today, actually. So you are almost on the right track. Okay, so and now I'll talk about like overall while I put this thing together. So there's been a lot of discussion, even in our community, about how would you go about making a character have a mouth and move and talk. This kind of looks a little bit like Bender. In fact, we could probably get it really close to Bender if we wanted to. But how do you make characters have emotion? How do you have them have faces and talk and blah, blah, blah? And the answer is, originally, I guess people used to use IK chains, and they would put 10,000 bones in a face, and it's effective, and bones are still used today. It's just the problem, I guess, with the bone concept is how do you get those details? Like, let's say a a wrinkle, and how do you get it to, you know, tilt on the bottom left, to use a first-person shooter so you don't have to deal with. Well, you got to show people's faces getting blown off. I mean, they got to have emotion, otherwise they're just dead souls out there, you know. No, no. So, but these are great responses. So let's see. This will be the right eye, left eye. You can see the artwork here. This is just blowing people away. Left eye, lid, top, and a left eyelid, bottom. So what they use is something called a blend shape. Now, how many of you have actually heard of a blend shape before? I'm sure some of you have. If you have mixed mode rigs or what you call it, if you have rigs off of, let's say, what you call it, Fuse, you've probably used those before in the past, but that's basically how they do it, is through these what you call it, blend shapes. And what are blend shapes? Blend shapes are sculpt data, and I'll show that to you really quick. What I'm doing right now is I'm actually creating the eyelid for the top, so you know the eyes have a little bit more emotion than just the standard fare, right? Like if we were to put an eyeball right in there, we would be able to see the emotion and what may be even good, because we're dealing with sort of objects that have an interior. We may want to extrude inside, so I'll do a extrusion and I'll create a cap, and let's move that inside. Reverse the normals, and we'll do the same thing for these. Whoops, 1, 2, 3, and then and okay, so there we go. We have our finished character to a certain degree. Let me just drop a little cylinder like this, and then we're just gonna get like eyes pointing, in the right direction. Come on, work with me. I'm using Cinema 4D for my 3D, but if you were to use any other one, a Blender, a Maya, same concepts apply. So you don't have to be stuck with the 3D software I use. You don't have to be forced into a position where you're like, oh, I got to buy this to actually do this. No, you could use this with other 3D programs. So I'm crudely making a robot. All right, here we go. This is like Bender 1 point or 0.1, and let's talk about blend shapes. Okay, a blend shape is the idea that you would have all these vertices, right? You have vertices from these points all over, and they have a particular identification number to them. When you sculpt it and you, let's say, move a particular vertice, as long as you don't delete the vertice, there's information that's tagged along to that can allow you to show a position from 0 to 1 of where that position changes. To do this, I have to take all these assets and convert these into one. So I'm going to connect and delete, and just understand I'm going to be selecting my objects by selecting their UV map, which is why UV mapping is always important when putting these things together. Let me make sure that these things that could select. Good, and good. Okay, so how do we do this? All right, let me show you what a blend shape is, and actually let me also show you what the alternatives for blend shapes in other programs are. So Maya blend shape. Oh, is it called a blend shapes? Yeah, so Maya calls them blend shapes. 3ds Max, the 3ds Max, Blendshapes morph targets for facial animation. So they call it Blendshapes / morph targets. I bet you it's called morph targets if you actually look for it inside of 3D Max. And in Blender, I think it's called something completely different. What do they call it? Morph targets or Blendshapes. So it goes under different names, but the philosophy is the same. In Cinema 4D, we call it pose morphs, which are Blendshapes. So how do we do this? All right, in my cinema, and you've got to have a reasonable level of 3D experience here. And you can't use Unity to make Blendshapes. You have to use a 3D program to create Blendshapes. Okay, so if I were to, I could select this jaw, and we'll select this jaw first, and we want to give this jaw a little bit of life to be able to kind of open up. And I chose this robot because robots don't have skin that deform or bend, which is really wonderful for this example. So in my Cinema 4D, oh, you call it shape keys. Okay, there you go. Yes. Morph targets from DAZ3. Everybody has a name for this. So in mine, it's called pose morph. So what you want to do is you want to focus in on points or PSRs. No, not PSRs. What is a point level? PLAs, point level animations. Okay. So this creates pose 1. If I animate this and rotate my jaw slightly down in my point level animation, and I go to my edit mode, you see how it's really easy for me to create this animation. What happened here? Really quickly, I have a base animation. When I and I could delete this. When I add a pose, it creates a new pose down here, and then I can just kind of position the pose that I want. And it's doing an interpolation between the 2 points. It's saying what's point 0, what's float 0 at this point. Okay, pose 0 is 1. Let's float it all the way over to here. That's basically what this is doing. So I'm going to call this mouth open. Okay, so and this is going to be my basic robot talk. I could do the same thing with a bunch of these other assets. So I'm going to create a brand new pose, and in here I'm going to select these. I'm going to have the eyes kind of go down, and the eyelids tend to go down further than the base lids, so let's select those. Oops. Did I? Oh, yeah. I gotta fix this one. Oops. Let me fix this one particular. Let's see. Let me fix this one particular cone. It's a little off right now. Actually, I'll just duplicate this one. Right clicks, split. Oh, and you see how once I did that, it kind of screwed things up. Here, let me fix this. I screwed up. I'm sorry. My bottom lid on my eye, I messed up on. So let me grab that one. I will split it. And then I will move this one over to here. So that way, one, two. And then I'll merge these together. And let me just go through that whole thing one more time. My my lower lid eye wasn't centered, so it would have looked weird if I would have kept pushing forward. So character pose morph. I go to my point level animation, and I'm gonna select my mouth again, and my jaw is going to open and talk, kind of like this, blah 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 blah. And so when he does animate, yeah. All right. So then I'm gonna go select my eyelids, and I'm going to bring those down so that we could do kind of like a blink. And I'll select these two eyelids. Oh, actually, do I need to create a new pose morph? Yes, I do. This is just talking. So mouth, and then we need to create a blink. And in the blink, I'm going to create a brand new look that does something kind of like this. Okay. And then so if I play my blink back, you know, that's kind of what it looks like. And then you can, some people, some individuals like to take the eyes, and instead of rigging them to bones, they'll may even set these up so that you know, there's a look left, a look right, a look up, look down, and they'll have that set up to pose morphs as well. It's really up to the decision of the user. So what else could we do? We could even go a little more intense. Okay, so I want to smile. All right, so I'm going to, in my smile pose, I'm going to go and grab my sculpt tool. So where is this? The grab. I want my symmetry. So I can grab these things, and I'm going to increase the size. And, you know, we'll give this guy a robot smile, right? So let's play that back. So now if I go into animate, you see how I have sliders here. And I can have my character talking and showing different emotion. And that's kind of the idea behind these pose morphs. And one of the things I forgot to add is like eyebrows, which you can't add them afterwards because right now it's using vertices to do the weighting. So if we wanted to add eyebrows, we'd have to like model this thing out completely first, and then we could do the eyebrows like frowning or smiling or lifting up or whatnot. But let's see, it's been, you know, 10 minutes of me doing 3D. I'm sure you guys want to just get right to the good stuff. But so I could take this whole concept right here, and I can then go File, Export, FBX. And I'm going to call this Robot Test 01. And of course I'm going to bake my PLAs. I always want to do that. Now, once I bring this into Unity, what I want to do is go to my desktop and I'll drop in my robot. So here's my robot right down here. I can drop my robot test into here. Now, let me go to Window, Layout, Rendering, Light. It's so dark because I turned off Auto-Generate Light Maps. So let that auto-generate real quick. And, of course, it has no textures attached to it right now. It'd probably be a good idea if I gave it some sort of texture so it was a little easier to see. So let me just grab this on my robot. And I'll drop this on here, and we'll bring down this to something kind of like that. And we'll give it a little more metallicness. So he looks more like a robot. Now, what makes Blendshapes work? Blendshapes work because we actually can see a drop down now. And in here, you could see my mouth, my blink, and my smile. Now, when we take this asset into, let's say, from an FBX back in, I'll show you what you'll see. You'll see the base 3D, but if you open this down, you'll have these poses. And if you look at each one of these poses, it's the 3D elements that are on, that have been kind of baked out as its own layer. And that's what Unity sees, and that's what Unreal, I think Unreal, you actually have to bake out each layer in Cinema, but it's better for Maya. But this is what you see as the blend shape. Is we have the three different animations, and then we have the default. Where do those come from? Well, you remember in edit we had our default, and then we had the three different animations. So that's what we're bringing inside of Unity. Now, one of the things that I learned a while back is when it comes to the model, if we start just turning all of these up, I think the normals start getting all whacked out and stuff, right? So we don't necessarily want to have the normals freak out on us. And I believe you have to set your normals to calculate and then hit apply, and it should fix the normals so it's not having that weird stretchiness that's occurring. And so now if I just do the mouth, you see the mouth just animates and there's none of that weird stuff going on. But it's set to a value of a 0 to 100, and that's how you can get sort of animations working on your blend shapes. So now comes the conversation of, all right, I have my animations working on blend shapes, put blend shapes on here. What can I do with that? Well, I mean, you have a whole lot of options here. You could create an animation, and I blink. Oh, hey Jessica. Yeah. So I usually try to do YouTube stuff while John focuses in on the pro workshop stuff, and primarily that's just because I like to hop on to uh, let's see. Usually I show off a lot more what you call it, file-based oriented stuff versus John's more coding stuff. So it just helps for us to just kind of do our stuff where, since mine's more oriented for file base, less in code, it's just easier that way for people to see, hey, oh, I see the value of file base, versus if we're just doing code stuff, then it's like that's more of like a pro member kind of thing. Okay, so we have, if I dropped an animation into here, and I'm going to call this iBlank, I'm going to do this on a loop, and I select my robot, I can go to add a property, and inside of here, we have two options. We have a skin mesh renderer. We have a blink. I can add a blink in here, and, let's say it lasts, 10 seconds, or 10 frames, a tenth of a second, and then I record this to go down, and then to go back up. And then I stretch this out a little bit, and I do another blink. Copy, paste. So what does this look like? Oh, did I do a double blink? 1, 2. Okay. Oh, it's doing a double blink because it hits the end. Okay. So you probably don't want it to blink too much, but if I were to just press play, now he's kind of doing its thing, and then eventually he will blink again, and then it'll blink again, and then it'll blink again, and it will just be kind of on the side. You notice it occasionally, but it's kind of doing its own thing, right? So that's one way to make our character come to life. And you notice that we did no script here. We haven't touched C#. This is all just in Unity. Now, real quick, when we talk about teaching people how to use Unity, it's kind of like saying the same thing as saying, I'm going to teach you how to do school. There's so much in Unity at this point. Being a C# guru is really good, but that's like being really good at math, but ignoring everything else. you got in Unity, you got the animation system, you got the animator system, you got the VFX shaders, you have the audio, you have the characters, you have rendering and lighting, and you have all these different things that are occurring in Unity. So I also like doing things that are a little different, and this is one of those things where I usually don't touch a lot of code, but I try to show, hey, you could do this without actually knowing any code, and this may be an easier solution for you guys. I don't know, but at the same time, I suck at code. Like, I'm not very good, which is why I found this home person. This is his Chris. Chris is a god. I found this script on here. And here, I'll copy the link, but I did a quick search on Google that said, hey, how do I get the volume level on this? Because I don't even know where to start. And so he created a really simple script that I was able to implement into my character to actually have the character talk. So first thing I'm going to do is I want to record some audio. Now, what tools can you find out there to help you record audio? Of course, you're going to need a microphone, but you also need to do audio capturing software. So Audacity is a free one, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check. If you guys can't have one, Audacity, I believe, is a free version of an audio software that you can download. I have the Adobe Premiere whole thing, so I use Adobe Audition. So I'm going to record a really quick audio track in here, so that I can have a voiceover that will translate to my my 3D program. So if I go into here and I create a new multi-track session, yeah, that sounds great. I'm going to hit the record button. I'm bouncing my levels already, and I'm going to hit record. Hello, everyone. Welcome to GameDevHQ.com. This is Al. Voice animation. How is that jaw looking? All right. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to export this out. Mix multi-track, entire session, and I'm going to call this Al Audio. All right, and where is that on here? Let's see. Al Audio, right there. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to drop this into here, and let's see. Oh, that's not it. I want to delete that. I need this one. And hello, everyone. Welcome to GameDevHQ.com. There we go. Okay, so here's our audio track right here that we want to work with the. Oh, you don't see the animation? Yes, I stopped it. Here's the blinking animation. And, if you wanted to, you could even, in your robot test, if you wanted to adjust your animation, you can give him the mean eye, too. Like, I see you right there. That's like the whole Simpsons look right there, that you could pull off real easily. So, he's blinking, and then he looks at you. Oh, I hate you so much. And then the eyes go back up and kind of goes to other things. I mean, you could have a lot of fun with this, and this is how you can make animations, keyframe, and stuff like that. But okay, let's think of Skyrim. Let's think of Fallout. They had how many lines of dialogue in Fallout 4? How many lines of dialogue in Fallout 4? 13,000 lines of dialogue in Fallout 4. You will never be able to get all that done. Imagine keyframing all that. That would be brutal. So they use tools that allow you to grab the volume level. All right, so here's the information. Here's what I wanted. See this peak? This is like a 1. That's a 0, 1, 0, like 0.5, 0.5, 0.2. I want my animations to move along with those peaks. Now, granted, I am not a good scripter. What do you call it? Coder? Software engineer? There's so many words. So I'm going to call this audio info. And this script is just going to pull that audio info. So I'm going to create an empty game object called audio. And I'm going to drop my audio onto here. So when I play on Awake, it's going to play
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
My audio. And let's just go ahead and move my camera over to right here so I could see this. And right now, we're getting no facial movements whatsoever.
Everyone.
So what I want to do next is I want to go to my audio and I want to attach my audio info script. And then I'm going to double click on that, and this is going to take forever. But in this way, we're going to be able to grab lines of dialogue quickly. Code Guru, that is a great that is a great term. Okay, I'm going to try to stick to Code Guru because I like that. It's not too what's the word I'm looking for? It's not too privileged, I guess. It's not too grandiose. It's not like I'm the vice president of C# script or anything. It's kind of like in the middle where it's like, oh, this is like a cool discussion. Okay, let's grab this. Come on, work with me, Visual Studio. This Visual Studio takes forever for me to load up. I really need to get a slightly better SSD. Like right now, I'm on a SATA, and I need to get an SSD to get this going faster. But yeah, so what we'll do while this thing loads up is just discussion-wise, yes, we're going to take that audio level and make my mouth bounce based on that audio level. And then you mix in the different random animations, and then you could basically ostentatious. Thank you, Peggy. Script Kitty. I like that. You could do some really cool stuff here. And it will save, if you think about it, if you're doing 12,000 lines of dialogue in Fallout 4, you can't hand animate all this stuff. It'll kill all your animators. It'll suck up all the money that you have and time. And I know, like, the Fallout 4 animation, like the mouth isn't perfect, but it's good enough. And the other cool thing about it is I've actually played with some lip sync software, and they've found a way to capture the puss and the heh and the ch, and when you do those noises, it can hear it and adjust the mouth movement to match that. It'll actually map out those different those different sounds. So it's not just a mouth moving up and down, up and down. It's actually you see the face morph into what it should do when it does make those particular sounds, which is really cool. So I'm going to literally copy his code from here to here. I wish I could script this. I can't. So I am going to cheat. So I've copied his code. I've saved it. And of course, I'm going to go to my clip loudness. And clip loudness is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go debug.log clip loud. Actually, I don't need this in quotes. Clip loudness, because I want to see that value. So in here, there's some direction. You need to bring in and connect an audio source, and it needs to know what the audio source is. So if I click on my audio, let's see, is the public audio source there? Let's test this. Let's see, was there an error? Yes. There was an error. Okay, so it needs the audio source. So I'll drag in my audio source right there. And then in my script, I want to do a debug.log clip loudness. I'm curious if that's the issue. Is it? I don't know why it's not connecting. That's going to be a problem. There we go. Something's up with Visual Studio already. Let me try closing it. Okay, so I get to debug.log the clip loudness, right? So if I hit the play button, I should see in my console. Hello everyone, welcome to GameDevHQ.com. This is Al. The different volumes up here, right? Voice, animation, how is that jaw looking? So we could see that we're getting a number from the mouth, and it's taking in that data, it's adjusting the jawline, or not adjusting the jawline, but it's taking in that data, and it's spitting out this volume, this value, that is incredibly small, but it works. And so what I want to do next is I want my robot to have a script to it that goes to the blend shape, and then it also looks for that audio track value, and it's pulling in that float, and it's kind of connecting to. So if I go to C#, and I'll just call this robot mouth because, you know, we don't have to be too particular at this point. I can go to edit this script. And in here, I want to do a couple minor things. One is I need to get a hold of this audio in this particular asset right here. I want to look for the audio info. So let's see. Private audio info. Audio info, and in here I want to go audio info equals game object. Why isn't this autofilling? It's so much harder without it autofilling. Do I have this connected correctly? Preferences, general. Where's the compiler? I bet you it's not set to editor. It's somewhere in here. Script execution, presets, input, visible, version, behavior mode, asset pipe, C#. Where is the thing that connects to the Visual Studio? Let's see, where did that go? I don't think it's set up to connect to Visual Studio right now, which is why I'm not getting any external tools in prefs. Ah, there we go. Visual Studio. Thank you. All right. So dot equals game object. Freaking A. Let's restart this again. Yeah. No, you guys are totally correct. It wasn't connected to Visual Studio. So let me do that. And then let's open VS. Okay, so audio info equals game of thank you dot find. All right, I want to find, what game object do I want to find? I want to find audio dot get component, and I want audio info. And why didn't that work? This should work. Audio info. Yeah. Oh, no, you're talking to the wrong guy who thinks they're the expert. Let's see. This should work. Dot get component. And the component is audio info. There we go. Come on, visual. Stay up with me here. Okay. So, if I get that, then I'm going to also open up, the robot, and I want to grab that script as well. So let's see, robot mouth, and then I got the audio info script right here. I'll open up both. So by me connecting these two together, I should be able to take this out, this debug.log clip loudness, which I'll save, and then I'll be able to do debug.log audio info.clip loudness. No, dot audio info. Oh, I made it private. I'm sorry. Clip loudness. Let me make clip loudness public. Save that. Audio info dot clip loudness. So if this is correct, I should be able to go back over here, press play, and I should see the debug right here. Perfect. So now that that works, I can go over here, and now I want to grab a hold of my game component in robot mouth. So I got robot test, robot mouth. I want to get a hold of the skin mesh renderer, and I want to get a hold of this mouth. That's the value that I'm looking for right there. So I'm going to create a new variable. Let's call this private skinned mesh renderer, and this is skinned mesh, right? And inside my skinned mesh, I want to skinned mesh dot get component skinned mesh renderer and dot, hold on, what did I do? I got the skinned mesh renderer dot How did I work this? I got the skin mesh renderer. Actually, I don't even need to get the component because I already got it. No, did I? Dots. Let's see. Is it? It's something like mesh. Shared mesh. No, it's get mesh value. So skinned dot skin mesh dot mesh. What is that value? There's something here. Mesh material bones. How did I script that? Here, let me check my other project. I know I wrote down the script somewhere. Let me see. Why not create a getter so you or anyone can change it at runtime? My friend, you're talking to the wrong person when it comes to code. I am very honest when I say my knowledge of scripting is very low, but I'm the art guy here. But I'm literally just showing how to connect the two together. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, all right. Skinned mesh. Let's get skin mesh renderer dot equals get component, and we want this to be skinned mesh renderer. And then in here we want to say skinned mesh dot set blend shape weight. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so in here it says a couple different. I know my dog's crying. It's my wife left with the kids and she's like freaking out. Puppy, calm down. So we run these through an index. So 0 is the mouth, 1 is blink, 2 is smile. So if we set this to 0, and then the next value is a float value. What's the float value that we want? The float value that we want is this audioinfo.clip loudness. So audioinfo.clip loudness. Now, if we do this correctly, we should barely see the mouth work, but it's going to be working. So let's go ahead and press play.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to
very slightly.
This is Al.
So what we could do is we can actually multiply this clip value by a factor of, like, let's say 100. Because you could see these values right here, how small they are. So let's multiply that by 100.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to GameDevHQ.com. This is Al.
And then we can mess around with the values to maybe make this a little more extreme.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to GameDevHQ.com. This is Al. Voice animation. How is that jaw looking?
There you go. Look at that, guys. Wow, I managed to knock that out in less than an hour. But that's how Blendshapes work. It's and that's how you could take something like whatever the volume sample is and attach it to your character. Now, thinking about this, because I was contemplating this yesterday, this works really well for a robot, and we can go into this robot and adjust certain things. Like we can make frowns and all this other stuff. But what about like human characters? What about things like that where they work a little differently? All right. So human characters are not done via bones. Um, Actually, you know what? While you guys are on here, all right, first person to help explain this to me, because I don't even know how to do this. Uh, right now, and while you guys explain it or come up with a solution, right now the mouth is
Hello,
really
everyone.
jerky.
Welcome to
Um,
GameDevHQ.com. This is
I would
Al.
love to know a solution to
Yeah,
make
yeah, yeah, yeah,
this
yeah.
smooth out
Like,
significantly. If you guys know how to do it, please drop it in the comments because I think that would be really helpful for me since I am not that adept at coding. Uh, but it would smooth that out. So, blend shapes. And I'll keep talking about blend shapes real quick. Okay, characters. Do I even have it installed on here? Do I have Fuse? No, I don't. Okay, so I do have Character Creator. So let me show you. Let's see if I were to use Character Creator. So, is there a plugin that will take blend shapes and put those onto characters? No, there isn't. In fact, programs like Character Creator, programs like Fuse, programs like I don't know. There's so many programs out there that have like these 1,500 blend shapes, right? Actually, not 1,500, like 100, 51 blend shapes or 100 blend shapes, 150 blend shapes. They're already set up to work with these blend shapes. Their characters are all pre-rigged, and they have blend shapes installed. And then when they do, let's say, a new character, it's taking that same basic game asset and it's just adjusting the value with like a new facial structure shape, and then adjusting the tone and the color and everything. But the original blend shape is still there, which is why they can create 1,000 unique characters out of these softwares, because they're all using the same vertex count. And you saw that when I tried to add in like a pair of eyebrows, everything freaked out and broke. Well, that's what happens when you use you try to add new blend shapes to skin. Because it's using that vertices, it doesn't like that and it completely freaks out. So this is the original female, male, whatever character that you would get in real illusions like Character Creator. If I were to export this out as an FBX, and we'll use like a Maya preset, I'll use instant LOD and I'll merge everything together, and I'll export this out. These programs are fantastic because, and I'll show you why. Okay, these programs are fantastic and they're well worth your money, and I'll explain why. These programs attach this blend shapes. Now, how much does it cost to do a blend shape? And then I'll explain how it's actually done. How much does it cost to, let's say you built a character and you want to add blend shapes? Some of the more popular websites, blend shapes to custom character, price. Is it Aquafire Motion? I don't know if Aquafire is Polywink. Here's an example. So they will take your 3D character and they will do the blend shapes to you. So this is like really high quality blend shapes though. And for a high quality character, you probably wouldn't want to do it with a character as this simple, but they'll do the solution for you. You could see the price right here. it ain't cheap, guys. This is a really expensive process to do. Now, why is it an expensive process to do? Um, that's I guess kind of where I'm trying to get at. So we exported that 3D object out, and I drop in this character creator live stream 3D model. And it's just loading that in. Okay, here's the beauty. Okay, so I click on these blend shapes. I have 7 blend shapes just for the tongue. Let's do. I have 7 blend shapes just for the tongue. Look how many blend shapes I have for this character. Mouth open. Mouth skewer. Slightly left. Mouth left. Sneers. Lower lip bite down. Lip tuck. Mouth open. Pucker. I mean, this is all just information that people can use to animate a face with blend shapes. The eye blink, the eyes widening it, all this little stuff. This is what you pay for. This is why you have to pay somebody to do blend shapes just for these faces. This is not cheap. This is a time-consuming process that is a pain in the butt. To do. Let's see. The question was, why not bake animations in Maya and trigger them in Unity? It depends on which ones you want to go with. You could do that. But the solution I was doing with the voice was just simply to show, instead of actually doing it by hand, you could just drop the plugin into Unity and get this. Let's see. I was just about to ask if character creator is worth the money. Yes, it is worth the money, hands down. I love character creator. I think Fuse is amazing as well. The problem is character creator is expensive. If you're gonna go to the facial mocap path, you're gonna drop a lot of coin on that. Let's see. But so this is why you pay for character creator. It's not making the characters. It's having the blend shapes built in so you can animate these characters, because doing it by hand sucks. So let's do it by hand. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab a character from our Filebase, just to show you how ridiculous this process can be. I'm going to go to... Let's see. Let's go to characters. Where is this? Oh, right here. I'm going to... So this guy right here is just incredible. Like, there's other guys that... And they're okay. But this dude right here is just a stud. Just a stud. But he's not built for conversation. He's not built to talk. He's not built to have any type of facial movement, facial animation, whatnot. So if you guys were intending to make an interesting character, you can. So bring that in. Go to GDHQ, characters, humans, man, FBX. All right, I'm going to go show him an explorer and bring him into my 3D project. There we go. Okay, so this person, has his amazing look. But what I want to show is, okay, so if you wanted to create some blend shapes on here, let's say you wanted to, I don't know, make this character into, let's say, a zombie, right? And you wanted to use the pose morph, and you can go to a points mode. We could set this guy, and actually, I'll go to my sculpt. I'll do a grab. Now, he has nothing inside the mouth. But let's say we were to make him kind of a zombie-ish type of face. I really need to get this point right here because this is ruining my day. Where are you? No, go up. You go down. No, I don't want you in the background. There we go. Alright. Finally got you. Come on, I want you. You stupid point right there. I'm gonna just grab your point. You're driving me nuts. Alright. So I can go sculpt, brushes, grab. And then we just grab like huge parts of the face and move those. This guy's terrifying. Okay, so all right, let's this is like face 1. Then we can add another pose morph that does, I don't know, something crazy. And you can animate between the two. Just something weird like this. You could take that into Unity. And then, you know, you'd have to adjust the textures and make him look right. But you could take him into Unity, and then we could slap a... let's see. Let me zip this up a little bit. We could slap him into here. You know, you make him a humanoid. But then when he's in here, and you go on to his, what was it, his head, he has the blend shapes on here, so that now you can animate however you want to do it, and amidst the load, but you could animate his face so that while he's walking around like a zombie, he's not just dead-faced, so to speak. Like, he actually opens his mouth, you know, shows his teeth, bites into you. Like, that's the kind of stuff that you could do with the this kind of animation system right here. And now your characters, damn, they just jumped with just this little bit of 3D work from something pretty lifeless and kind of stale to like, oh, wow, my characters actually came to life now. Now they seem like human beings that I can interact with just for a bit. And I do believe that in Unity, there is the option to not only do amplitude, and you know, you guys are probably far more qualified at this than I am. Unity audio get pitch. It's not the pitch. I'm sorry. It's not a get pitch, but there's a frequency. You can actually get the frequencies from audio sources, and there's a different pitch rate, and there's a whole audio system behind this that I don't even understand, but you could use that to influence your animation as well. So there's a lot of different tools that you can use to kind of make this go to work for you. Let's see. I just want to go through some of these questions. Yes, Jessica says creating realistic expressions is not easy. It's a time consuming process, and it's a real pain in the butt. Which is why that particular website I showed charges £500. That's like 600 and some dollars per character. But you get into a place where when you start doing this, you're not going to throw away characters anymore. Like, those become solid gold to you. If you actually created a character with blend shapes and the right types of shapes, etc., you won't get rid of them. You just hold on to them forever, because the process of doing the blend shapes again is such a pain, and it's not easy to do. Let's see. Yes, I've seen Daz. Daz 3D is a highly valued one, and in fact, there is an amazing system inside of Daz. Face. What is it called? Capture? Is it Daz that does it? Daz 3D does a face capture as well. It's not. I don't think it's through the iPhone X. There's a couple different options. One is like your regular webcam, and the other one is through the iPhone X, because it has like a depth sensor. But the iPhone captures, their naming is different than, let's say, a character creator versus like a Daz. So you have to almost adapt your blend shapes to mix with the proper capture system. But it also gives you that flexibility to where if you were to go into a studio and the studio would just say, hey, we don't use any of those, we have this professional thing that has 138 pose morphs that we're capturing points here, you're not stuck necessarily with just, oh, well, I don't use that, I can't use that. You could still be able to capture that information inside of Unity just by changing the pose morphs and changing the naming of the pose morph to take in that data. Yes, I believe. Yeah, is it, or CC3? CC3. Oh yes, here it is. This is the Character Creator 3 face capture. I mean, if you wanted to go with this solution, and it's outstanding. I mean, the quality is just dead on. And you could see he's using just a web camera to do this. The problem is the price. The price is not cheap. I ain't gonna lie to you. I use iClone 7. I'm sorry. Yeah, not Dad's. It uses iClone. And I don't even know the price, but I believe. Let's see. Motion Live. That's where the price is. So 1,600 to connect. So it's not cheap. But then you got the whole bodysuits down here. I mean, they're if you're going for like a full-fledged game, if it was me going for a full-fledged game, it would make sense to say, you know what, I'm ready to drop $4,000, $5,000 to get all this for my game character, knowing that it's in one easy plugin. Boom, punch it out. But if you're still, this is more like a hobby thing, you just want to have fun and experiment or find a cheaper solution, this is kind of the problem you run into. So now Fuse, I don't know if you guys know what that is. Fuse is Adobe's character creator system. And did I spell that right? Fuse or Fuze? Fuse, yeah. And it's really good too. Same basic concept. It takes characters and it maps and creates the face, blend shapes and stuff like that. And again, when you bring in these blend shapes, every pose is basically a replication of your vertice. So be careful in getting crazy with blend shapes, because if you have 150 blend shapes, that's 150 copies of vertices of your character because it has to, map it out. So just be cognizant. You don't want every one of your characters to have a blend shape. What you want is like your hero characters to have all the blend shapes, but then your other characters can be like this robot test where it has, 4 or 5 different blend shape animations that play over and over again. So, just food for thought for you there on how to kind of take this and make this sort of your own. But I hope that in seeing this, you guys are kind of inspired to jump out and make some animated characters. And yeah, I mean, for as quickly as
Hello,
we worked,
everyone. Welcome to GameDevHQ.com. This is Al.
it's pretty simple and straightforward. And if we were to attach this onto a human, we can have it kind of doing its head movement, head bobs, kind of all this other stuff, along with animations, and you got yourself a pretty freaking cool character right there. Let's see. All right. Any questions, guys? Any concerns? I don't think there was. My scripting is, again, crap, but, I put the link, and this person, Chris Entropy, right here, far smarter than me, and he knows. He created this real quick script that you can just drop in and kill it with. And I put the link here onto chat as well. So from here, I'm going to take probably a quick break, and then I'm going to get back to my weapons, because I owe a lot of really good weapons for people. And but I think this is kind of as far as the character side I'm probably going to go today. So I'm going to take a quick break. If you have questions, drop them out other here, and I will be back in about 2 minutes to kind of jump back onto characters or weapons. All right? I will talk to you in a second. Introducing the GameDevHQ Pro Membership, a brand new subscription-based service aimed at helping you succeed as a game developer. This service gives you access to powerful tools, amazing assets, and easy-to-follow certifications to make you become a legit Unity 3D game developer and software engineer. Get instant access to over 100 hours of authorized training available through our built-in custom streaming platform. Earn your game developer certification and software engineer certifications by developing games for 2D, 2.5D, 3D, mobile, and even AR. The GameDevHQ Pro membership also provides the easiest, most powerful, and enjoyable tool to give you the freedom to create. Introducing Filebase, an amazing tool built for Unity 3D that gives you access to thousands of video game assets developed by our in-house team of artists, from weapons, tools, props, vegetation, vehicles, systems, and even entire levels. You'll see how incredibly easy and enjoyable game development can be.
Your membership's value will continue to grow through the year as new assets are added on a weekly basis and can even be requested. We have made it our goal to help you not only enter the world of game development, but successfully build and publish your game. The Pro membership also includes a growing library of custom-built challenges and a vault filled with live Pro Workshop content. This Game Dev HQ Pro membership provides you a powerful set of tools and training that makes learning game development easier than ever before. Log on to GameDevHQ.com right now to learn how the Game Dev HQ Pro membership can become your game development solution.
Okay, I'm back. I hope that was cool for you guys. Let's see. It seemed pretty simple how to make characters, right? I mean, talking heads, all that other stuff seemed pretty straightforward, if I'm not mistaken, right? Oh, I need to get my guns. No problem, Peggy. I think that was good. Hey, Casey. How's it going? Let's see. Fantastic demo. I bet this works for those platform games that sync to music. Yeah, no, absolutely. You can almost see how it does work, and how it's like lets it go take care of itself. It's probably incredibly useful to do it that way. So let's see. I gotta get back to these weapons. I owe a lot of guns that I haven't scripted. And then I was playing around with some of these guns, and they were so bad. I needed to, like, rescale them and everything. So embarrassing. Okay, so in window, I think this is using the old Filebase. Yep. Yes, please. Update, please. Good stuff. Now, John ended up sending me a whole crap ton of audio sound effects. So I got to start putting those up. Thank you so much, John. He actually went out into the forest and started punishing nature at monstrous levels. It was pretty awesome. Let's see. Props, weapons. Okay. Let's get some guns. We gotta fix these. Puppy. Oh, right. So I need to set up my AK-47s, the ATA, ATs, 4 sniper rifles, Beretta. Oh, you're so scary, puppy. All right, let me go ahead and download this AK-47. Why are you so scary, dog? Oh, look at you. You're so ferocious. She's like 16 pounds. She's a mutt. I don't know what she is. We think there's some beagle in her. Some beagle, some dragon. A little bit of scorpion. It was an empty fridge. Alright, let's take a look at this AK-47. I want to see if this model is all jacked up. Yeah, I think... Well, no, I think my model's fine. Let's see. Alright. So, I need to create an AK-47 position. And I'm going to drop my AK-47 inside of that. And then I have a couple things in here that I need to move over, like my smoke, my bullet casing, my gun, light, muzzle, flash. Yes, I'll move all those over to here. Oh, let me break this. Break PFAT, unpack. So what we did is we actually created a gun system, and we ended up we're trying to create this like one-click solution for everybody for the guns, because it's just simpler that way, less to worry about. So we created all this script, the community helped out, and right now I'm just trying to paste all these component elements onto the guns to make sure that they're good, so that when you guys download them from Filebase, it's as simple as clicking and pasting, or actually just importing in the asset and not having to worry about rebuilding the gun from the ground up, because that could be extremely painful. So I'm gonna make sure this is my audio source. And let's see, inside of my AK-47, I have, let's see, I gotta delete that. Oops. I gotta delete this rotation. And game object or component is missing. I don't know if it would be. Adam asks, would it be easier to swap guns just by changing the mesh filter? That's a great question. I don't know if it would be. So because each one of these, like this one has a bolt and this one doesn't. So I don't know. That's a great question. I didn't even consider that. More than anything, I was just saying, you know what? If I got to build these all by hand, I'll build them all by hand. It's no big deal. I just want to make sure that what is created actually works. So this game object, whatever that was, I think that was my light. Gun light. Light. Intensity. So I think that's what I'm adjusting right here. Oh no, I'm setting on the enable. Enable and disable. Yes. So add property. Is active. There we go. So, you know, I like this property area right here. Simply because it's an easy place for me to do animations in Unity without actually pulling out the code to do that. Because that's where it tends to get more difficult for me, and that's where I tend to struggle. So if you'll see me, like if there's an opportunity for me to avoid coding, I will take that opportunity every chance that I get. Um, I'm not bashful about that. Let's see. This MP5, I don't want that MP5 texture. I want the AK-47 texture. And my bolt, I want it to have the AK-47 bolt. Oh, my clip. There we go. And then, are you going to try to do an AR dice roller as a test project? Ooh, that sounds like fun. So with this AK-47, I'm going to also play the bolt. I'm going to do a transform on its position. So, let's see. I'm going to hit the record button. Select my bolt. I'll move this back. No, I want to move my bolt back. There we go. So as it fires, boom, boom, boom. There we go. All right. And I think that should be good. Let's test this out. Very cool. Let me just delete this one. Just need to adjust the positioning of where things shoot out, but I think overall it's looking pretty decent. Okay, so I'm gonna do my muzzle flash side. So where do you play from? Let's loop you. And my muzzle flash front. And then bullet casings. Where are you coming from? Let's loop you out. Now the bullets come from, I think, is it over here where this ejection plate is? I think so. And then, let's see, emission. Let's see, I want to adjust the start rotation. There we go. Let's give this a play! Only thing that's missing is the light's in the wrong spot. The light should be up at the front. And then I'll save that. And we'll test out the different fire modes. So the AK will test out single. We'll do auto. A little fast. Honestly, I think the AK kind of goes a little slower. Let's go to a speed of 1. And auto. Let's see. What does an AK-47 sound like? Oh yeah, I gotta check that out too. AK-47.
If you're still trying to figure out how to start an online business or how to get people to actually buy from you over the internet, I have some really...
Got your ears?
So it's the right speed, it's just the wrong audio then. Maybe a little bit faster, like a 1.2. Okay, and yeah, let me check that smoke. Oh, the smoke's in the wrong spot. Let's give that a play. Yeah, so I think the only issue is the audio itself. Oh, it's the same ammo. Yep. Oh, I need to do... Let's see. Scar... Additional gun folder, bullet casing, FBX. I need the rifle case. So let's see, AK-40. Oh, here, I'll move this over. Duplicate. Actually, I don't want to duplicate. I'll just move over the additional gun folder over to here. And then in here, I'll do bullet casing, and there's a mesh. Instead of cube 9, I will use cube 10. There we go. And then I want to look at my start rotation. Boom. I think it's reversed. Boom. There we go. That looks right. Okay. And then we need to sample some new audio. So let's try that audio instead. So AK-47. Let's try the Scar. Yeah. I want it more like... So let's see. Let's see. I may wait on the audio until I get John's. I think that will be better. Because I think he was shooting... Were you shooting an AK-47 or something similar, John? Let's see. Create new folder. Texture. Drop these two in. And then I'm going to create a new folder called prefab. And drop that in. And then I'm going to copy this and we'll export that. Alright, let's take a look at our export. Does an AK-47 have a silencer? I don't want that. Oh, I just want the... This is AK. Oh, I did finish the rocket launcher. I'm curious what you guys think of it. Let me hide this real quick. No, that's just the rocket. Oops. Where's the RPG? There we go. Okay. Thoughts. Press play. I have a cube right here where I'm actually hitting. But it's a simple point and shoot. What do you guys think? Boom. I think this explosion looks pretty good too. Let's put this right here. Not bad. I still need to get a good audio for the rocket being shot out, but other than that, I think it should be pretty cool. Yeah, after we got offline, I was like, I gotta work on this some more because this is gonna drive me nuts. Oh, smoke coming out the back. Yeah. Let me put that down. Okay, so we did the AK-47. I exported that out. Now, what other guns do I need to do? What other guns? There's so many. We did these three. I haven't done a Tommy gun yet, have I? Let's import that. What does a Tommy gun sound like? Well, isn't this great? This is like my job right now. Due to quarantine, this is my job, is to research guns. John, you don't have one of those. I'm kind of disappointed a little bit. We're talking home defense here, John.
Most people and most businesses can shoot a video like this. You'd agree, right? But with the...
We head out in the middle of nowhere here today to meet up with Mike. He's a Class 3 weapons dealer for film and television. Hopefully he's gonna flip over these drums.
And after that world-class butt whooping that I... Wait. I want to see you do it gangsta style. That's better.
Okay, there's a Tommy gun. Let's get this sound. What is it? I don't want slow motion. No, I want it regular.
Wow. Awesome, huh?
I knew you'd love that. Well, bro, it pains me to say.
I don't feel like I got a lot out of that. Alright, let's send a little forward.
So you excited to see your gun?
I can't
Usually I get around the halfway
I guess we ought
point,
to
then
give it
they
to
start
him, huh?
firing.
So there she is,
Ah, there we go.
delivering the illegal alcohol. Take him out! All right, Jason, hit that gas can.
Why are they shooting semi?
Now we got the adjustable stock here, so you can adjust. Makes the trigger just feel nice and light.
Don't you want like a full auto, Tommy? Well, this is a Thompson, which is the same thing but different barrel feed, right? Oh damn. Those are 45s with that? What? Are you serious? Oh my god. That's like insane. That is stupid. That's a big bullet and a lot of them. Oh my gosh.
Few things you can do with a firearm make you feel more badass than hip firing a fully automatic Thompson submachine gun.
That's crazy.
The bolt slamming forward has less of an shoulder and lay rounds on target. The Thompson was showing its age in World War II.
That is nuts. Ugh. Okay. So that's going to go faster than the AK. I hope you guys put some facial animations on those people you're shooting. I expect facial animations now. Let's see. All right, let's see this FBX, if this is garbage or not. Let's see. No, it looks pretty good. There you go. Yeah. Alright, let's put the Tommy gun clip underneath. Make this a prefab. We'll rotate this around. Make it a little bit bigger. Hide the AK-47. And I want to put the clip where it's supposed to be, right there. Yay! Okay. Then I want to create a great new game object called Tommy Gun Position. We'll reset, and we'll put that under here. And just so you guys know, if you're just tuning in, I'm just going to be working on guns for a couple hours. We did the character animation earlier today, knocked it out in about 50 minutes. It was awesome. People went home happy and celebratory. So I don't know if you can rewind a live stream, but it's all the way at the front. We probably knocked it out really quick. It's pretty straightforward, but pretty cool. Let's see. So for my AK, I'm going to take all this stuff and drop it. Oops, let me break my prefab. I'm going to put this, right here. Perfect. And then I'm going to hide my AK. Nice smoke. I'm going to put right here. My muzzle and my flash. I'm probably going to stick right here. That'll look good. My bullet casing, I'll eject from over here. And then I think that should be good. My gun light, it's a little out in front, but I'll set this right here. And then I just need to copy components over and adjust some of these elements. Actually, you know, while you guys are here, and you guys may be able to help me out on this. Okay, so with this talking head, someone mentioned a lerp. Alright, so alright, I'm curious now. Lerp, lerp, lerp. So clip loudness is going to be the value that's brought in. So let me look at lerp. I want to do a math.lerp. The start value, the end value, and the interpolation between the two values. Okay. So the float returns a A1. So animate the position lerp this if the time enter okay. So if I had a value that's coming in at real time, and then I had another value that was coming in at, like, let's say a second later, can I lerp between the two? Or can I lerp between every fifth value? No, I figured, while you guys are here, I'm curious to talk about the lerp. It kind of hit me. It's like, I never got a solid answer there. And I'm trying to think about this lerp, John, so I can make this mouth move smoother. Hello, everyone. Welcome to GameDevHQ.com. This is Al. Voice animation. How is that jaw looking? So vector 3 transformed up position. Minimum max T. T is 0 dot start. Starting value for the lerp. So what I create, there's the clip loudness. And then I create another value that's recorded prior frame or something like that, and it compares the two. I'm curious. Because this is looking at A, B, and matching time. Well, no, it's not. It's not even a curve, Adam. So what I'm doing is we have that audio, right? And it's got this wave file that's coming in, and what it's doing is every the 60th of a frame, 50th of a frame, it's recording a 0 to 1 value based on the amplitude. What I want to do is, because it's creating so many samples, I want to adjust it so that instead of creating one here and then right next to it at a 60th, maybe it's like one every 10th. So it's like a longer movement for the jaw, so it doesn't jitter so much. But there's no keyframe in it, Like I could see for like my eye movement, there would be a adjustment in the curves, but this audio is being brought in directly from the script, so it has to be done via script. Now I'm trying. Yeah, well, I'm trying to think, how would I smooth out that mouth movement via script using a lerp? Because right now, what it's doing is, if I press the play button, it's just reading the values that are coming. Voice animation. How is that jaw looking? So it's reading that directly from this animation playing back in real time. I'm wondering if creating, let's say, one value, and then after X amount, like 1/10 of a second, record the second value, record the third value, and then that's the value that gets shown to the mouth movement. Because, let's see. If I were to do like, what is it? Clip loudness equals math f dot lerp. Float A would be 0.0 f. Float B would be clip loudness. And time is like 0.1. Then, 0.1 f. I don't think this will smooth it out, but let's see. Hello everyone, welcome to GameDevHQ.com. I think it's still jittery. Alright, let's see. Hello everyone, welcome to GameDevHQ.com. Yeah, it's still not smooth. This is Al. Voice animation. How is that jaw looking? It's still jumpy. That's where I'm wondering if I could set the points where, okay, like oh, you missed this part, Brad? Adam? Okay, yeah, no, this whole part right here, which was right at the front. Hello, everyone. Welcome to GameDevHQ.com. This is Al. This whole front part. How is that job? Yeah, like, exactly, Mike. How do I set it to the previous value so that it's smoother, or do I set it to where so let's see. Let's see, I would probably want to clamp the animation, so if it's greater than 0.8, if it goes to 1, and do different value buckets. The lerp function is a bit like a tween. It calculates the value between two values and a third percentage. Right. So, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. And you tell me what your thought is. Okay, we have value A, which is the clip loudness. And this is real time value. Then we have value B, which is clip loudness recorded every 0.1 frames, right? And value B, value C, would be the 0.1 f time between the two, right? What's the thought on that? Because then if the mouth is moving in real time, and then this is the old value, it won't jump as quickly? Or maybe I'm making this too complicated. How would I record every 1/10 of a second? So let me see, in Unity, Right. Yeah, exactly. I want it to be less sensitive. Okay. So if we do this over time, so float value b, so if there was a time, right? Time to record would be time dot delta time is, let's say, less than 0.1, and this would create a value, right? So this would be a float variable equals, and then once it hits this, then value b equals the new clip loudness, right? So clip loudness b. So it wouldn't record it until every X amount of seconds. So let's test this out, because this may be able to fix the choppiness of blah blah blah, the talking. Okay. So if that was the case, then float value or clip loudness. Actually, I'll just call this value b equals. Actually, I'll declare this afterwards. Let's see, time delay, float time delay equals 0.1f, and if time delay is greater than, actually, I'll make this 1 second. Oh yeah, well, that's why I say, it doesn't have to be Mitsu. I see what you're saying. If you skip too many values, it may do that. But right now, it's just like jittering all the way. So I want my time delay to be a second. So if the time delay is greater than 1 dot, I need a float timer. Okay. So if my timer is greater than my time delay, right? Then I want it to set the new value, and then timer equals 0. So timer equals time dot delta time. So that's what timer would be. And after X amount, after 1 second, it would be set back to 0. 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. It's just checking time. So this new value is going to be value b. So, I need a float. Float value b. So value b equals clip loudness. And then I want to set the timer back to 0. Okay. Oops. Okay. Equals 0. Not that equal. This equal. Okay. So if this is correct, after every second, I should have a new value for b. So let's debug.log. All right, value B, and let's test that out. So let's play. Hello everyone, welcome to GameDevHQ.com. And I should probably hide the other debug. Where's the other debug? Where are you? Let me save that. Hello everyone, welcome to GameDevHQ. Okay, now it's not being called. So audio info. If timer is greater, float timer. I want to see debug.log timer. Let's test that out. Hello everyone, welcome to GameDev. I see neither one. Interesting. Maybe it's because I didn't make it public up here. So value B and timer. What do you mean they don't exist in the current context? They should. Value B. Oh, duh. Okay, value B. There we go. 0 errors. Figure that out. Okay, let's play that back. Hello everyone, welcome to GameDevHQ.com. This is Al. Okay. Why isn't that showing up? Why is that not showing up? Oh. Is that what it is? Timer plus 0? Hello everyone, welcome to GameDevHQ.com. This is Al. I just don't know why my debugs aren't showing up. Unless I need to pull these out. Hello everyone, welcome to GameDevHQ.com. This is Al. Okay, so there's my timer. Hello everyone, welcome to GameDevHQ.com. This is Al. Voice animation. How is that jaw looking? Okay, so it does reset. Now, I don't know why time.delta time is incredibly slow. I figure it would be on a second basis. Okay, so if timer is greater than that, it resets. There's a float time delay. So this would be, let's do 0.1. Hello everyone, welcome to GameDevHQ.com. This is Al. Voice animation. How is that jaw looking? Let me see something. Times 10. everyone. Welcome to GameDevHQ.com. This is Al. There we go. Okay, so this properly resets. Okay. So we need to create a value A. And the value A is clip loudness. Okay. And then it's going to do a timer, time delay. If timer's less, it's going to create value B's clip loudness. Okay. So I'm going to debug.log this. Value B is going to be the new clip loudness. So let's see if this shows up. Hello everyone, welcome to GameDevHQ.com. This is Al. That looks correct, right? So this is so let's verify that. We can see now it's like it's changing, right? This is Al. All right, now let's lurk between the two and see if it fixes this. Okay. So then we're going to want to do a equals math f. We want to do value A, value B, 0.1f. All right. Mathf dot lerp. Let's test this out. Hello everyone. Welcome to GameDevHQ.com. This is Al. Floyd. Kind of interesting. Let's do a 0.5 blend. Hello everyone, welcome to GameDevHQ.com. This is Al. Much better. Not nearly as jerky as it was. Much better. Animation. How is that jaw looking? Very cool. Look at that. Sorry, I had to go off on a tangent because I was really curious. But now I seem to answer my own question with the help of you guys. We did it together. Cheers, everyone. Woohoo! We got a brand new code script right here. Nice. Look at that. Look at that amateur scripter right there. Just dominating. Oops. Okay, back to killing people. Oh, man. Okay, so I swear, the older I get, the more I'm starting to realize I'm starting to get a little ADD. Because I jump everywhere. Let's see, mesh renderer. Oh, I don't need the mesh renderer. I need the audio source. Copy component. Paste component as new. Copy animator. Look at that. Dude, I've told John before, I'm like, I need to sit down and actually do the C-Sharp survival guide again, because I need to be able to really study this, because I felt like the first time I just breezed through it because I just had too much stuff going on, and now I'm at a point where I'm like, man, I really want to do this again. This would be fun, but you know, sometimes it happens. It happens. Okay. So Tommy gun. Let's see. We got audio source. That's an AK-47 audio source. We want to put our audio source on here. We got the Scarfire. And now we need to do some animations for our Tommy gun. So I'm going to hit the record button. I'm going to delete this rotation. And I will substitute it for my own. Let's see. Question is, what if my character has a body, limbs, and the like? How would they get those animated as well, like a full-blown cutscene? Oh, yeah. Mr. Xavier. That is a great and fantastic question that nobody asked. So let me answer that for you. All right. Here, let me get this Tommy gun finished, and I will answer that question for you. You're gonna like this. Okay. All right, where was I? Okay. I did the Tommy gun. It's firing. What am I missing? I know I'm missing something. Oh, I don't even... is there like a pin to this? No, it's the clip. I guess that's it. Let me save it. Okay. Boy, that jump is really high. I don't like that. Not at all. That should be like 3. And then in the animator, full auto, I'll do this like at 1.8. Okay, and I want to make sure that it's using the Scarfire. And that should be pretty cool, I think. Okay, I'm going to go to my Tommy gun. I want to make sure that I move my Scar stuff. No, not my Scar. What would I just did? AK. Additional gun folder over here. So it's reading that. And then we are all clear here. Animation. I want to create a prefab. And I want to drop my Tommy gun into here. Okay. So now my Tommy gun is a prefab. I hit play. All right, beautiful. Okay, Mr. Xavier. I could replace it with other noises. Okay, the question is you have like a 3D character who has a body, limbs, and the like. How would I get those animated as well on a full-blown cutscene? Oh, the best thing, Mixamo is one of my favorite places to go to. It comes with the Adobe subscription, which is why I also use, Audition. And when you get the Adobe, you get Fuse as well. So, if you were to log into Mixamo, let's see, continue, you get to bring in your character. And so this is like a Mixamo Fuse rig right here. And when you bring in the character, you can see how it will take in those animations. And then all you have to do is hit download and it brings it in. But you can see, like, in the Adobe Fuse, you see where the legs connected together, the textures, like in her arms and the neck. So be conscientious of that. That does occur. And I know Mixamo has some characters already. I don't know if you guys have played around with these, but these things are pretty badass. You know, like they got this beast, whatever it is. I mean, they're very much like they were made for Mixamo. But, you know, they got like zombies on here that you guys could use in your games as well, that are pretty high quality. And then once you've figured out what do you want them to do, like animation wise. And I know this Mixamo has a great zombie pack as well. And I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if this came straight out of World War Z, that World War Z game, because this looks kind of like what they had at World War Z. So, but yeah, Mixamo is a great animation pack library, highly recommended. There's other ones out there that you could purchase, but if you're looking for something that has a bunch of stuff in it, it's good. But really, the key to Mixamo is the ability to bring in your own character and bake the animation. Oh yeah, Thriller. Oops. Yeah, they have the whole Thriller dance in here. Oh man, this is good. And then they have the part 2 right here. Yes, you can. John asks, can you have a character do the Thriller, then switch to the death scene when shot? Yes. The way would be, like, let's say you were to download this character, right? Let's see, take a second. And then you want this zombie death. Okay, so you download the 2. So then you would go to show in folder, and I will open up that face one because I don't want to disrupt this one. So I'm going to hide robot for right now. And I would drop in Zombie Death and Thriller Part 2. Okay. So you'd pick one that you wanted to start with. I would probably say like Thriller Part 2 is who you want to start with, right? So you press the F. Oops. And before you drop that in, you got to make sure you set your model to humanoid. And Zombie Death, humanoid. So you drop this one and that one in there, and if I select him and I go to Thriller, there should be a Mixmo animation. I could set this Mixmo animation. Well, I can't really actually set it, but window animation animator. There we go. So this is the first animation that it starts with. So if I press play right now,
Hello, everyone.
she
Welcome
should
to
be dancing,
GameNetHQ.com.
right? So with that done, then what you want him to do is take in that death. So you go to your zombie, and instead of using this, duplicate it, and we'll call this death. And this only works if the character has been set to humanoid. Then in your animator, you drop in your death animation, right? And you make a transition all the way over to here. And let's see if he just does the death automatically. So he'll play his dance. How much further? It's almost there. Let's see if he transitions to his death. Oh, there's the death right there. Okay. And then if you wanted to, you can go into script. Kill zombie. And if you were to edit the script, you'd want to do a couple minor things. You want to let's see, you want to in your animator set a bool up here. So in parameters, a bool or a trigger, die. And this animation only occurs if the condition is die. And then in here, what you would say is if we want to get the animator. So public animator anim, and anim is equal to get component animator, which the animator is already on this game object. So all we're basically doing is saying to our character, grab your animator right here. And so then the final thing you need to do is if input dot get key down key code is D, then what is it, anim dot set trigger die, and then you go back over here, press play, he's doing his thing, and then die when I press the D button. Boom! Done! So, that's how you do that. Let's get rid of these. Thriller, zombie death, thriller part 2, death, kill zombie. Man 2. Goodbye. Clear, clear, clear. Okay. You killed MJ. I had to break it to you. I really do. Yeah. Oh, how do you make fire while walking? Yeah. What you would do with that is you would bring in your fire animation and your walking animation, and you'd bring it into your actually, we may say that for a live day because that's a good one. You'd bring it into your animator, and what you'd want to do is in layers, you create. Let's say your base layer is your walking, right? You'd want to create a second layer, and this is for your firing. And inside of here, you have this thing called an avatar mask. So what an avatar mask is if you go here, you could choose what parts of your IK will be affected by this next layer. So, let's say you only wanted the top half of your character to be affected by the gun animation, but the bottom half be affected by, let's say, your legs, right? Your run animation. You don't want your arms moving. Then you would just say, all right, I only want this part of my IK to be affected by this animation, but my base animation, I want to do this other one. And then when you did that, you just go to here, go to your avatar mask, and you would apply that new avatar mask, set the weighting to 1. And then over here, all your animation for your firing will be there, but all the issues that you have with the running will go to something else. Oh man, that's the thing, John. It's like that's the level of my scripting knowledge. Is like, oh, I know how to grab components and make simple variables, but then I see him do stuff, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're doing. Let's see. John asks the question, here is where I have an issue. When in a game you start with no weapon, how to get the pickup to work right? Oh, to like actually have the character blend down and pick it up. So first of all, you need the character animation, right, to do that thing. But if you can cheat it, do it. And if you can just have your character do a pickup animation where, you know, he walks over and picks it up. I think there's, or a simple, these are really complex. Let's see if grab. Walks over, can he grab something on the ground? If you can't find anything that does that, there is an IK solution. The IK solution is a little more, slightly more complicated. But what it would do is it would get your character to, you could manually animate his arm to go down and pick something up. It gets kind of ugly if you don't do it correctly, I guess. But it is possible. I mean, is that something that you'd like to maybe see next week? John, we could try doing that where, you know, we can have a character and we can have a simple animation built where, you know, he can reach down and grab stuff. I think that might be kind of something cool right there. We could plan to do next week, and I could even introduce the where is it? In the package manager, I can introduce. It's still in preview. This one. Where is it? Animation. That one right there. I can introduce that. I mean, that might be something cool. Because I know I've had this question a long time, and I think I kind of solved it a couple months ago, but I'd definitely be willing to show it to you. if you're down. I'd like to show that to you next week. I like prepping. Like, I don't want to just jump into it and kind of test it, because then there's like, it's your time, it's valuable. But if it's something that you want to do, I can prep to do something next week about it, and I could show you how to pull that off. Because what I would probably do is do a combination of what is it? Crouch. Like, I do a combination of this, like crouch and the thing grabbing. No, it does not, Mr. Xavier. You're correct. There are no blend. Well, I take that back. If you have fuse, those come in with blend shapes. But if your characters don't have blend shapes, then you have to do what we were doing here, where you actually have to manually make your blend shapes. Or you can hire a company out to make the blend shapes for you. I'm just saying that's not cheap. I believe they were £500 for one character to do like 50 blend shapes. It's a process. But the reason why Fuse and Character Creator are able to is because they are basing their entire model, even though they're adjusting it. And what they're doing is they're adjusting the actual bone. They actually put bones inside of bones, so you could adjust the width of certain elements. But yeah, it's an expensive process. It's a time-consuming process. But I kind of showed that a little earlier today with making the jaw move and stuff like that. But yeah, so it doesn't do that. Or if you do bring in a Fuse character, and that's the beauty about Fuse right now, is Fuse, you can actually import a character in from Fuse and then bring that into Mixamo. And so when you export it out from Mixamo, it will have the blend shapes on its face. So you can go from there and do that. Hope that made sense. What? Face freak? Where? Hold on. What? Hold on. I think I know what you're talking about. Is it this thing? Face rig. I don't know. This looks like it's this is what you use for creating face tracked avatars. Facebook Pro allows you to monetize videos on YouTube, Twitch, regardless of monthly revenue. Facebook Pro does not bring new assets to FaceRig Classic. Excuse me. Okay. If I am not mistaken, okay. And I kind of know what this kind of does already. I'm just curious if they're providing characters for you to use. Okay. So here's the difference. So this looks like this company. This isn't blend meshes. This isn't a program to create blend meshes. What this program is a way. If you have a character that's already has the ability to do blend shapes already, that are so yeah, Corona. If you have a character that already has not only the correct blend shapes, but the correct name, the correct blend shape path, then it will be able to take that and interpolate live blend shape information from that. That was such a horrible explanation. So let me just kind of explain this again. Yeah, this isn't a program that takes your 3D character in. They already have 3D characters made. You pick which one you want. And then it could take your face capture and do a real-time animation with it. But you still have to use their characters because their characters are rigged with the proper pose morphs. But if you wanted to do your own characters, you have to pose morph your own characters. So kind of what I was showing earlier today, they got certain things like that dragon that was in the back.
War is upon you.
So this raccoon is already rigged and ready to go.
As we speak,
the ears is kind of like what we were doing with the blink. They're just kind of doing their own thing in a repeated animation.
Your peaceful forest. But fear not. Character you want in your online interactions. So you become any character you want in your online interactions. Be they chatting, logging, or whatever. All you need is a computer and a webcam. Yes, it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Do you know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in France? FaceRig maps your facial features using your webcam, giving you complete control over your 3D avatar.
That's right, but it's the 3D avatar they provide.
Okay, guys. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Wait. La la la.
Duke, I am your father.
Exactly. There's actually there's programs already out there on Unity that
from a wide range of characters.
There you go. Right here. There we go. All right, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You don't import your own character, but it could take your face data and do this to that character over here. I like the fact that it seems really smooth.
If you're feeling creative, you can design
looks
your
really
own.
well. There's other programs in Unity that allow you to create your own characters and do the same thing. If you go to the asset store, I was actually just talking to these developers 2 weeks ago, actually. Let's see. Who was I talking to? I was talking to Itzy's, right here. And they got a tool that's almost exactly the same. And I was testing it out to see how it worked. So, let's see. YouTube. It sees 3D face capture. Oh, right here.
Hello. The avatar
what it is this avatar maker. You could take a photograph in, and it creates the avatar. Now, again, the head, the avatar, is generated, and then it uses a webcam to see what you're doing on your camera on the side, and then it maps the animations based on your webcam. So you can see, like, when he starts to capture here, he's going to record a animation clip. And so and it's just like that program you saw. There's the webcam on the side, and you see like the mouth and face. You can see how that all comes together. So they already have this stuff in for Unity already. That's not the problem, guys. The problem is this. If you want to take this data, you have to make sure that it maps to your character. So their blend shapes are different than that other program, than Character Creator 3, than Fuse. It's all different as far as naming convention goes, as far as the shape of, like, certain pose morphs. The inner brow is a good example. Some people allow you to lift up the left inner brow and the right inner brow separately. Other facial captures do it together, and you can't split them. So everyone is different, and that's when you got to play around with which one is your favorite video capture, your facial capture software, which is this, versus what is your favorite way to apply those pose morphs to your 3D character, which would be like a Fuse. Are you going to get it pre-built, or are you going to do it by hand? So it's like two different parts that work together. This isn't the expensive part. Like, the facial mocap part is not the expensive part. Now, rigging this character to have facial mocap, that's the expensive part. And that's when you hit that let's see, Unity character pose size face capture. It's not. Is it Aquafire? No, I think Aquafire does the same thing. It creates the character, but if you want your custom character built, that's when you do Polywink or something similar. And that's when they'll actually go in and build the 150 pose morphs for your character. But shoot, you know, I mean, look at that. It's great. It's awesome. It's also 500 pounds. But you see all the blend shapes that they individually create to make your character look good. And these all have to be done by hand. It's a pain in the butt. So hope that didn't go off too far off the deep end right there. So let's see, weapons, Tommy gun. I think this one's done. So I'm going to export these three. Yes, they do. DAZ characters do have pose morphs. So if you build your characters in DAZ or iClone, yeah, DAZ is a DAZ 3D does it. So this is software that you could look into, and this DAZ is specifically aimed for characters. So this is something you can look into. iClone is another program that's built specifically for characters. It's not built for other things. which is why they come in with pose morphs, which is fantastic. Character creator is another one that is fantastic. This one is super easy to use to create custom characters that will be game ready. So, no, that's definitely something that's really these are good softwares to invest in. If you're gonna go the game development route again, it doesn't benefit to go cheap. Get a good program that does it really well for you, and you know, get the good stuff. You'll save yourself so much time in the end too. So yeah, I would suggest go for it. So that was the Tommy gun. I have a rifle, and then the P90. Well, yeah. So Character Creator 3, I can only speak on that because I kind of know that one. It has a great collision detection for your clothing, and so that way you could bring in some whatever, like shorts or something like that. Put it near the hip, do a detect collision, and it will actually wrap it around. And then you could set your character to different poses and fix the weights and stuff like that, so they don't cut through and you don't see the mesh poking through. I mean, it's really fantastic for that. So yeah, it's good. But I wouldn't discount Daz. I wouldn't discount iClone or any of these other ones. But what I will say is you're not going to get those built-in elements in a 3D piece of software. As far as I know, you don't get that built in with Maya. You don't get that built in with 3ds Max. You don't get that built in with Blender. You don't get that built in with any of those. Which is why nobody ever hears about Blendshapes, because you have to make them yourself. Whereas these programs that are built specifically for characters, they already do the blend morphs or the blend shapes, so you don't have to do things like eye blink. Like, think about how much of a pain in the butt it is to make somebody blink their eyes. Look at this eyelash and the polys and everything like that. How do you get all those points to close and look realistic? And then you have to do it for the other side as well. That is a pain in the butt, man. That is no fun whatsoever. So that's why using some of these other programs, man, it makes sense. It makes life easy. And when you got to build an entire game, I mean, you know how it is. It's like there's just too much to do. So let's see. So this gun looks pretty damn cool. Nice looking rifle. I even like the woodwork on it. Look at that. That's so classic. Ahmed's so good at this. He really takes the time to build beautiful stuff. I need to create a empty game object. It's tough, man. Yeah, and this is why also, like, if you think about it, if you don't have, if you do run it in first person, you don't have to worry about a lot of characters, you know. And the only times you do have to worry about characters is in cutscenes, and this is why, like, it makes sense in a game like Half-Life, put no cutscenes in. Have, if you're in first person, have your character walk around in first person mode the entire time, no cutscenes, and that way you don't have to do a lot of crazy facial animations. Which totally makes sense. I totally get that. You're correct, John. Too many projects, not enough hours. I feel you, buddy. I feel you. Like, I personally really want to work on the Ultimate Game Jam. I'd love to make an entry for it. Like, I have an idea. I'd love to make some sort of escape room. I think that would be so much fun to make an escape room. But, dude, it's just, you know, it's like so much stuff to build already. All right. Oh, so I gotta make this hammer work, and I gotta make this bolt work, which would be pretty cool. All right. So let's copy these over. Copy component, paste component as new, and then I will move the audio source over to here. We'll still use the Scar Fire. This will be single shot mode. And then what else is there? The bolt. I need to do the animation for this sucker. So I'm going to go to record. I'm going to hit delete on this, and I will record. Let's see. 4. And I'll set this to 0. And what I may do with this, boom, is have the bullet eject slightly later. And we can actually delay the bullet a little bit. Where do we do that? Emission, rate over time. There's a delay. Where is that? Oh, there it is. 0.02. Or 0.04. Right? And then, so that will delay the bullet casing long enough for me to do the hammer. So the hammer, I'm going to set this, so let's set that back to 0. So boom. It's fast enough to you won't even see it. But then I want this bolt handle. Where's the bolt handle? Yes, I am. So, boom. And then So let's test that out. Okay, so my gun rotation grab my rifle rotation. Okay, there's a weird rotation going on right there. So this, let's record this, negative 90, negative 90, negative 90. I don't think I need that one. Save, press play. There's that weird rotation right here where this is going to... Oh, look at that. Record this. 0. 0. 0. And 0. Okay. I think that should fix it. Hello, Dragon Killer. Okay, and then we could do this handle rotation to be a little slower, and we could set the bullet casing ejection out to be a little later, like 0.1, right? So let's test that out. What is that rotation doing? What is this crap? What is this? What are you doing? What are you doing? There. Boom. There we go. What was that crap? Okay, and then let me go to my animator, and I'll go to my gunfire. I think this is not burst, semi. Let's play that back. Nice. And then I'll probably make sure that the casing is not set to looping, because that looks ridiculous. And there you go. Easy enough. Easy enough. Make this too easy. Alright. I didn't say that. let's see. I had the Tommy gun last, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Okay, additional gun folder right there. And then I need to create a prefab. That's the prefab. I'm going to drop my new rifle in here. So that's all set to go. Let's go ahead and export this sucker out. Export. Rifle. Turn off RPG and plug in so you only get the rifle. Paste and save. All right. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. I think I'm going to do one more gun, and then I'll stop the stream. Actually, I might stop the stream now. But, I hope that, the character thing came in really good. If you missed it, just hop on to the first part of this. I mean, we knocked it out in 50 minutes, and I think it hit everything we needed to do. And next week, what we'll try to do, John, is we'll look at your IK situation with a character, and we'll have them kind of bend over and pick something up. And, you know, realistically, John, picking up items is one thing, but then there's another part of, like, how do I get my character to grab onto a gun? And that'll be like the second thing that we could look at as well, and kind of go from there. But I do know that a lot of games cheated. Like in this, you know, of course she's firing. Okay. As she picks up an item. So she throws a brick. See, where's that pickup animation? Does she pick up the brick? Okay, there it was. That's the animation. She hunches down. Like, she doesn't even make contact with it. Like, she hunches down to pick it up, and then the gun or the weapon will spawn when she pulls it out of the item. So, you know, it's all smoke and mirrors. I mean, I think the worst thing you can get to the point of is thinking it has to be so exact. This was like the greatest game ever in 2012 ever. So, and they didn't have to do things exact. Like, you never saw them actually picking up items. It was like walk over, hold the button, they picked up everything at one time. It was just an assumption. They just do a quick grab animation and you assume everything was picked up. Or like when you walk over and pick up a gun, they never show you actually picking up the gun. You walk over, you press the button, and then the gun is instantiated on your character, and the other gun is tossed out with a rigid body, and it lands on the floor. And your brain has just interpreted it as you picked up the gun, dropped it, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, we could test around with it and you know, do a couple options right there. But kind of go from as well. Let's see. For the one-on-one thing, yes, it's still my favorite game. In fact, I'm kind of peeved right now because my PS4, I have an issue where I try to watch cutscenes and my cutscenes go crazy, and it looks like it has this weird like blurring old, like bad bit bandwidth, bit rate kind of thing. And I want to play it again so bad, and I may have to buy another PS4 or get mine repaired. Let's see. Do I do one-on-ones? I don't do one-on-ones. Mainly because most people come for the art, not the art side, but the C# programming side. Whereas me, I'm just more like I know some art and I know how to use Unity a little bit, so it's kind of hard to explain everything. But John usually does the one-on-ones to get people focused in on do they want to become a software engineer? Is this where they want to go to? And that's a little different than what I do, which is I look at it like, how do I build tools and assets that makes people lives easier so that they can build games like that? That's, to me, is my goal, is like, with this, I don't want you to actually have to program a gun animation. Here, let me get it ready for you. Let me get an RPG ready for you. Let me get certain assets ready for you, and stuff like that. So or let me show you a tip and trick to make this work better. Like these zombies right here, I guarantee you they have like 4 blend shapes on them, but they look really good. Like that whole part right here where he's like, his face is open and he's screaming, I bet you that's like 1 blend shape, and the blend shape is show me pain, and then the other blend shape is like a passive, and then the other one is like a screaming, like 3 of them, and someone has gone in and keyframed them individually, in fact, what do they call it? Infected. Yeah, I try to just stay as a jack of all trades. I mean, and John and I talked about this, and I said, if you go into game development or in Unity thinking that I only need to know how to code and I can make it a beautiful game, it's going to be a really, really challenging thing to do. Whereas if you go to it thinking, I could learn how to do a couple of these things really well, then you don't have to be a master of it, but you can get it to the point where it's really, you could do a lot more, so to speak. So notice how in The Last of Us, look at their faces. They're all covered up. That's the reason behind that. They did that very purposefully. That's why soldiers are so hot, is because the blend shapes, they don't want to do blend shapes and face animations. Well, you guys can, though. Let's see. I don't think I'm going to see an actual face in this. No, I doubt I am, but... No. No, I don't see any face. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it'd be good. Like, if you go into Unity, be a jack of all trades, have a strength in one area. Like, if you're coding, be strong in coding, but understand the lighting, rendering, art side. And if you're an artist, specialize in level design, specialize in characters, but have an understanding in how to at least code together your character animations, or code in a death animation or something. I think that's really important to do. see. Yeah, I don't see anything that shows like these enemies in an idle state, which is kind of a bummer because I would love to see. Oh, here we go. And I know I have played with The Last of Us, and I've actually seen like when Joel is talking, if you rotate the camera, you'll see his mouth moving while he's talking in game without a cutscene. All right. So let's see if we see them. Yeah, they're not even talking. A lot of crazy head movements, but then they do like the head shake to kind of sell the emotion. Okay, guys. Well, I hope this was good. I hope you guys walked away with a little understanding of how to make characters kind of animate a little bit. I hope you had fun with it. I'm going to tune on out, but thank you for hopping in. And yeah, next week let's try to do something fun with like picking up objects and animating that, and kind of go from there. So you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will catch you next week. All right. Talk to you later.